Someone to love is the answer. Once you found her, build your
I do love. P.S. I love you.
Magic 92.5 WGHQ. Great songs, magic memories.
I was born and raised down in Alabama on a farm way back up in the woods. I was so ragged that folks used to call me Patches. Papa used to tease me about it. Of course, deep down inside, he was hurt because he'd done all he could. My papa was a great old man. I can see him with a shovel in his hand. See, education he never had. He did wonders when the times got bad. The little money from the crops he raised barely paid the bills we made. Oh, life had kicked him down to the ground. When he tried to get up, life would kick him back down. One day, Papa called me to his dying bed, put his hands on my shoulders, and in tears he said, Patches, I'm depending on you, son, to pull the family through.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you, when you're doing yard work, safety matters. If you use a ladder, be aware of overhead electric lines, including the service wire that runs to your house. Even wooden ladders can conduct electricity with dangerous results. And be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a swimming pool, and you're working with skimmers, brooms, or other long-handled tools. Central Hudson wishes you a safe summer.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lovezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
This programming is brought to you by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. As a strong advocate of local broadcasting, Assemblymember Cahill urges you to support Kingston Community Radio with your time and donations. Your contributions keep KCR vital and on the air at FM 92.5, AM 920, and on the web at mykcr.org. Please join Assemblymember Cahill and send your gifts of $10, $25, or more to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. Together, let's keep KCR alive.
All right. Thank you, Lawrence. Good morning, listeners. Welcome. KCR Morning Radio Show, broadcasting live from 16 Lucas Avenue in Kingston, New York. 331-9255 is our call-in number. We would love to hear from you. Anything that's on your mind, any issues, concerns, questions, we'd be glad to help you out with. 331-9255. And in a few, we are expecting Fred Costello, supervisor from the town of Sorgetes, and Bill Murphy, mayor from the village of Sorgetes, unless the mayor forgot. So we'll see.
I hope not.
And did you get the round of thunderstorms here in Kingston last night?
It didn't wake me up when I was walking to work this morning. I saw all the puddles on the ground, and I was like, God, I wish it would have rained during the day yesterday. Was it pretty bad?
The lightning show was spectacular.
What time was it?
Last night? Right around 10:30. And actually, the lightning started earlier than that.
No, we didn't get it at 10:30 because I was still awake at 10:30. I didn't go to bed till 11.
I think it didn't start raining until around 11. I heard it. That was about the time I was falling asleep. And anyway, but between the heat lightning and the lightning,
that's why it wasn't making thunder noises.
Well, see, up in Sorgetes, there was in the mountains there were some nasty thunderstorms that then moved across central and southern Greene over into Columbia. but it was quite a show. It was quite a show.
Yeah, I know you love the heat. It's been a scorcher these last 2 days. Yesterday it got up to 99 or 97. The real feel was like 110. And I think it was even hotter on Monday. I'm not sure. It's going to start cooling off tomorrow, though.
It is.
A little bit. And it's right now, what it says is 3 days of rain. I know it's scattered showers, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on Friday it only says 44%. And the other days it says 50. Hopefully it'll pass.
Yeah, I think by Sunday it's going to clear out.
I hope so.
From what I saw this morning, looking at a couple of the computer models, there's a stubborn low that's stuck off the Virginia coast that is going to hang around for a couple of days. But hopefully everything clears out for the 4th.
Yeah.
And 4th of July in Sorgeties this year. Thanks to the Lions Club and Kiwanis and the Sorgeties Stallions, we've got a nice fireworks display.
That's good. Kingston had to cancel them because they didn't book it in time. So there's no fireworks at all in Kingston this year.
So they didn't.
We weren't at it. They had to be at 100% until Kingston would let us do it. So they never went ahead and booked it. So we came out a week or 10 days before the event was supposed to happen because we always have it the Sunday. So it would have been, I guess it would have been Sunday on the 4th of July. It's never during the week. It's always on a Sunday.
Right.
Usually it's the Sunday before the 4th, unless the 4th happens to fall on a Sunday, which it does this year. But yeah, that was in the paper last week.
So when you say book, they
probably had to book the fireworks company
the
like
fireworks
a month ahead
company.
of time.
Okay.
And when the governor finally lifted all our COVID restrictions,
right.
That's when Kingston said, hey, when they get us back to 100%, then we'll let people walk. Because that's actually bigger. I don't know if it's bigger than the Hooli, but the 4th of July celebration on the Strand, I mean, there's got to be at least 5,000-6,000 people there. I mean, easy. I mean, you got, pretty much that one part of Broadway and then down on the Strand, from Old Savannah up to like where the Sturgeon is and down where, in that park, T.R. Gallup Park. It's pretty packed. But I actually like Shamrock Sunday and the Hooli are my two favorite.
Are those your two favorites?
Yeah, because Shamrock Sunday, usually it's cold. You want to get out of the house. The weather's starting to get nice. And the Hooli, it's just starting to get cool. And they're both Irish festivals, so, it's all right. I've actually only been to the Hooli once in its 20-year existence.
Oh, no fooling.
Yeah, only been there once. And that was I think 4 years ago.
We generally go, unless we go up to Sagandaga, then obviously can't be two places at once. And the Italian-American festival.
Oh, that one I go to. That's in October.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of October, did you get the email from the Giants the other day? I think it was Monday night or...
I haven't really looked at
look at it because
email.
Check this out. They are at 100, everybody 100% capacity.
Yeah.
No tickets will be handed out this year. Okay, so every single ticket, hey Bill, every single ticket is going to be on your phone. Okay, no cash at the stadium, either a debit card or a credit card, so you don't have to interact with people on their hands.
I'm actually surprised that the Giants didn't do that because the Yankees did that back in 17 or 18, I think.
Yeah, I don't like it though because how are we going? I only go to 6 games a year. How am I going to sell my other 2 games?
Well, how do you normally sell them?
I give them the tickets in the parking pass in an envelope.
I think you can just transfer them electronically.
How?
You can.
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Because I bought groups of tickets for my family before, and then we go to the stadium. I send each their own ticket to their own phone.
Right.
Oh, so you use the app, then you send it to their number.
Yeah, you have to use the app. Yeah,
okay.
You have to use the app.
Good.
And also, like tickets that I don't use, if I can't get rid of them locally, I post them on usually StubHub,
or Ticketmaster. But I've actually been collecting the giant ticket stubs since I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
So I have a big photo album of 300-400 tickets. So I guess tickets are done. That's going to be one of the COVID.
Yeah, sign of the times. And
but we will get parking passes in the mail right before the start of preseason. So that we still give out at the gate. But when it comes
the parking pass, I don't know how they would do it on there.
And let's put a barcode on your window, but I got enough of them on there with Hoffman and all that other stuff. So, but do you hang yours in the window when you get there, or do you just leave it in the dashboard?
I usually hang it on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hang it. Sometimes I.
And what do you get? Do you get a blue one?
Yeah, I get the blue one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we all get the same one then.
Yeah. So, Bill Murphy, Mayor, Village of Saugerties, good morning. Thanks for joining us here.
My pleasure, I think.
You don't have your iced coffee this morning.
I got a small one, drank it on the way down. I was thirsty. But at least Sunday, like, it was hot, but there was a breeze blowing. Excuse me, so the air was moving. It wasn't as bad, but people were roasting. We had tents set up, and then the wind was blowing the tents, but it was hot. But then I had my buddy Bob Circonsano show up the Good Humor truck. He's awesome.
There he is the other day, in the middle of the day, that picture I sent to you and several others.
Yep.
And speaking of Bob Circusano, he's going to be joining us at 7:35, talk about the car show that's right around the corner and some other things that's going on. And then, of course, this is the 5th Wednesday of the month where we don't have regularly scheduled guests. Saugerties Stallions franchise owner Kevin Hinchy will be calling in. They're having a great season. Won on a walk-off again last night. They were behind by 4 runs, and
they're down 4-3 when I left. I went for my walk and I stopped in for a little bit, and I think it was 4-3 in the 5th or something when I left.
Yeah, and then it was 7-3 going into the 8th.
Wow!
And they scored 3 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. 16-6.
That's the record, huh? Wow,
yeah.
Good for them.
Only a game or 2 behind Amsterdam, and
doesn't seem possible. They played 22 games already.
I know. It's
like the season just started.
It's a very condensed,
yeah,
compact schedule, and even the American Legion, their last home game is Sunday, the 4th of July.
It's hard to keep track.
Well, they also got a late start because with spring sports going later than normal. I understand the reasoning. When they started they had girls tennis and soccer. Starting March 1st, which was nearly impossible. So I don't know how successful that ever turned out. I didn't pay too much attention, but because of that, the spring sports couldn't start till the 3rd week in April.
Spring sports had a great season. They got a full season in, because I know my daughter's lacrosse team, who were Section 9 champions. They got their full season in, and baseball did as well. And
but they couldn't start until the 3rd week in April.
Right.
And the games didn't start till the 1st of May.
Yeah. But they played an aggressive schedule. I mean, lacrosse played 14 games.
Okay.
So, I mean,
where normally they're starting like in March, and they're
starting. Spring sports usually start about mid-April. So they, right?
Not
games,
baseball.
They start that early.
Yeah. It might be non-league, but Mike Puglisi's very, very aggressive.
They also went a little later this year, like sectionals this year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why the Legion didn't start until so late.
But soccer was condensed schedule. Soccer, they played 10 games. This is a 10-game straight schedule, and then they had a league championship, no sectionals. I don't believe they had sectionals in soccer. Or they may have, but they did. But I don't think they Saugerties. I don't know if they qualified or not. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I mean, honestly, we just had it. I was with my daughter last night, because last night thank you to John and Sarah Smith, who graciously donated. I called John 2 weeks ago. I said, John, how would you like to be a hero to the senior class? He's like, what? I said, could you donate the tent and the golf course so we could have a makeshift prom for the kids after graduation? He goes, without question. Hesitation. John goes, I'm in. I said, you guys don't need to do anything. My wife and some of her friends and teachers and they had it last night, and it was really neat. My daughter and her friend and Alex Morris. Alex took my daughter and her best friend, and they went and got all dressed up. And I think my wife said about 60 to 70 kids showed up. Someone donated, a DJ donated his time.
Nice.
Many local businesses donated to it to supply money for pizza and drinks. Stewart's donated all the ice cream for an ice cream bar.
Wow.
Johnny put out the dance floor for the kids, and it was 7 to 10. And they had my wife and then a couple of parents came with good cameras and did pictures of all pictures of the kids, and it really turned out nice. So over the last couple of weeks, they got their full blown graduation, they got their parade, they got their makeshift prom. It was nice to see these kids get some normalcy the last month or two. It made a big difference because they lost a year and a half. You
Sure
know?
they did. Sure they did.
And you could see it on the kids' faces. They were just happy to be together again. And that parade we pulled off Friday night, man, it was tremendous, the parade. And even though you lied to me at the fireworks, I knew you were lying. Because I could tell.
There was fireworks?
Because I could tell you were lying. Because when I text you, if there weren't going to be fireworks, you would have given me a better explanation to say, nope, it didn't work out. And I said, I showed it to Danny, because Danny goes, can you text Greg, see if there's going to be fireworks or not? I text him, I said, he says no, but I said, I guarantee you he's lying. I said, you wait and see. And she's like, how do you know that? I said, I just know Greg too well. I said, if there weren't really fireworks, he would give me a long explanation of what happened. But instead it was like
I was busy. I couldn't.
Yeah, but
so who was responsible for the fireworks? Was it you, Fred Costello, that just walked into the studio? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Listen, that parade,
was great.
Was awesome.
I heard there was a lot of people on the streets.
We came, like Washington Avenue was pretty crowded all the way down. It was great to see the way the residents came out. And then you made the turn from Russell Street onto Partition, and there was like 10 deep at Stella's. And
That's what I heard.
And they were just going crazy. And that went right up to Maribella's. Like that whole section was just packed. And then more people on the street, and then you made the corner by the Exchange, and the Exchange porch was like 4th of July. It was like 10 deep, people hanging off the wall, screaming for the kids.
Wow.
And the Cells had a nice little crowd at their house, a few other spots on Market Street. The kids were stoked. It was fun. It was really fun.
Good.
It was a great night for the community, I thought, and it's nice to see all the businesses get their patrons out to support at Main Street. Dutch, they all had people out front supporting them. And the kids, my daughter's sitting on the roof of the car through the sunroof, like a lot of kids were. And the fire, I think we had 8 fire trucks. That was a lot of fire trucks showed up.
It was at least 8.
Yeah, 8 or 10.
Yeah. And we got to thank, can't forget about. We got to thank once again Kevin Hartram with American Fireworks. He donated the fireworks, donated his services. And after the fireworks were over with, because we shot him in left field on Cantine,
I could tell.
He raked up the debris.
It was the kids. I was in the bus circle with our car while all the kids were parked. That's where they all parked their car for the parade. And when the fireworks started to go off, the kids just started screaming. They were just like, they were really excited about it. And it was unfortunate. It wasn't quite dark yet, but you had to do with them before we were taking off for the parade. So, I mean, that's all.
Right. And then I didn't realize it. I didn't find out until Randy Ricks told me about 7 o'clock or so that when I got there, that they were coming out the bus circle. I thought they were coming, but as it turned out, it was even better because we cued the fireworks when they just passed the tennis court. There's that large opening where we've lost, 4 or 5 trees over the years. And then I had thought about, was there a way, but as they're coming up Market Street, it would have been darker, but
it was perfect. Yeah. It was perfect. We came back to the field. I think had to be about 100.
How many people do you think drove back into the complex?
Majority of them did. A majority of them came through, and there was about 100 teachers lined up right there by Little League concession stand, and the teachers all cheered them on. Like that was the word that went out to all the teachers in the schools. So there was probably about 100 people at Cantine lined up right in that turn onto Pavilion Drive.
Oh, wow.
And that was cool. And that's how they ended. And they went through that, and they kind of dispersed after that,
That was similar to what happened last year. Although last year, remember, we started to have a traffic jam because
that was a sports parade. That was a sports parade because we did the shorter route, which was my fault. And that's why. And it's funny because this year when I originally, I think you guys were with me that day when I was talking to Tim about the parade, I said Washington Main Street Market. And then I had a parent call me and say, Bill, doesn't it go down? And I'm like, oh, you're right. The sports parade went that one, and we moved it. So then I called him like on Wednesday, say, hey, you got to send another email. Let's make the parade a little longer so we don't get backed up. Because there's about 150 cars, I think they counted.
Sounds
give or take. Not every kid went in the parade. There was a few that didn't, but
I know there were 96 students. So then student cars.
At least, yeah. I mean, there's 174 in a graduating class.
Okay. Anyway, that's what Randy had.
Some kids doubled up in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a good night. It's something the community needed after this past year and a half.
Oh, absolutely.
And I didn't get one negative email. Did you?
No,
I didn't.
No, a lot of compliments.
There was one lady on the parade route. I have to say, it never fails. We're driving through, and I think it was right around. Somewhere on Washington Avenue, at the Main Street, where you went across Main Street by the diner, and some lady screaming, "That's enough already! Get this thing over with!" And I'm like, And I'm like, and I just go, crawl back under your rock. You know? But in the meantime, there's 30 people around her cheering, and she's going, that's enough already. Get this over with. I'm like, come on.
Some people just find clouds on sunny days.
That was another thing, too. All the seniors in the senior building came out on their balcony.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool, too. Yeah, it was awesome. I had goosebumps when it was over with, man. I was so happy for the kids and just for them to have a night like that. And the graduation, I mean, what the school pulled off for the graduation was phenomenal. Obviously, you weren't there because you're at the field. But the way they set up the football field and how organized it was and efficient, I mean, I bet you there was well over 1,000 people attended. The football stands were packed. They had 500 chairs on the lawn, were full.
I saw the setup that they did.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The kids came in from the junior high gym, went across that little archway built. They walked over, it came through, walked onto the football field. And it was efficient. It wasn't one of those long ceremonies where you're sitting there going, come on. I mean, it was an hour and a half. You know, we started probably 6:30, 6:45, and we were done by 8.
A little before 8, I think it was, because I know
the parade started right at 8:30, right? We're supposed to.
Well, yeah, we had to hold that till the fireworks or the fire trucks got lined up.
But it was like just a great ceremony. I mean, sometimes they go on too long, and it was a lot of fun. I was just, once again, you know, the community knocks it out of the park, you know, and a lot of good people make it happen.
So. And I had just mentioned, I think as you were walking in, we have fireworks after the Stallions game on Sunday the 4th. Our famous Sorgady's 4th of July parade at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Not at 11, 1 o'clock. And
I understand it's going to be a little shorter this year. Last I talked to Scott Campbell, they didn't, you know, they were a little bit down on participants. Not a lot, but, you know, definitely he said it might be like one division shorter than normal, but that's not a big deal.
That's not a big deal.
No. And some people are probably still a little gun shy, which is understandable.
Yeah.
You know, but it's gonna be fun. Yeah, and I think, you know what? And honestly, you know, if this 1 o'clock thing works, I think it's something we should look to in the future.
Yes, you took the words right out of my yes.
You know, because give people the morning, do what they got to do.
Absolutely.
Because you have the parade at 11, you're done by 1, then you got a big void in the afternoon. This parade will take you through part of the afternoon, you know.
True.
And also have people in town around the restaurants around lunchtime and
yes.
I don't know. Not only that, but then the inspection's at 10 instead of 8, and I hate getting up at 7 o'clock for the fire truck inspection or 4 o'clock.
No, I think it's a great idea.
It's obviously up to the fire department. They're the ones that run it, you know. And I certainly wouldn't step on their toes. I mean, you know, when I went to them this year and said, hey, can we move the parade to 1 o'clock? They're like, yeah, Murph, we were thinking about that. It's a great idea. You know, they're on board. You know, if they told me we got to have it at 11, I'm not going to. It's their parade. A lot of people don't understand that. It's not a village parade. It's put on by the fire department, organized by the fire department.
See how successful this one goes, and they'll
and they do a
They're
great
excited
job.
to do it.
They are.
Too, because last year we did the driving parade.
That was cool.
It was really amazing, but it's not quite the same. So.
No, and that was a lot. That was a long.
That was an undertaking.
Yeah, that was. That was kind of exhausting, but it was neat. What was neat about that? I mean, all the way out in West Sorgady's, people were out in front of their houses.
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
That was, you know,
banners and
yeah. It was neat, but I kind of like going to the afternoon. I hope that it works out this year. I hope people enjoy it, you know, and then everybody's got Monday off.
Yep.
Because that was the biggest complaint 10 years ago when I moved it to a Monday. People, you know, I got to go to work the next day. And I'm like, well, normally you do anyways after the 4th of July. And I only moved it to Monday because that had been the precedent that was set previously. When the 4th of July, you know, growing up, if the 4th of July fell on a Sunday, it was always pushed to a Monday celebration.
Right.
So I just kind of folled that.
Well,
and
which I never, you know, I don't agree with doing, because the 4th of July, it's a very important holiday. It's it should be on the 4th.
Agreed, but Sunday mornings, you know, a lot of folks are
church,
yeah,
and that's why.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with the 1 o'clock start, and I think as you move forward, even when it's during the week, a 1 o'clock start makes all the sense in the world, because again, you don't have that big void. You know, you still have time for your backyard picnics, your barbecues.
You go to the Stallion game, and
if people want to go to a Stallions game, they can. If they don't, you know, it gives them even more time, and then view the fireworks.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna. I mean, this is just a crunch time. Someone called me yesterday, said, "Hey, we got to get together." I'm like, not right now. I said, I just got through a graduation. I got the 4th of July coming up, and I got the car show coming up. And oh yeah, my real job, which is end of the quarter today. You know, it's like I'm just been bombarded lately, and And I can't wait till after the car show's over and things can quiet down a little bit. You know,
You really think they're going to quiet? You really think they're going to quiet down?
No, not at all. And I hope they don't. But I'm just saying, for me, in the car show, listen, that's no work for me. Bob Circonsano does all the work. Obviously, it's just, you know, he called me yesterday to make sure we can move the tables out of the reslot and get so we can have the whole lot. And I'll have my guys do that next week. And you know, Bob will have I'm sure Bob, as usual, will have his guys come to the village next week and do some weed whacking and mulching. You know, my guys do it, but he always does the extra. You know, puts his people out there to help clean up in front of any business that needs to be cleaned up in front of. And you know, and I always tell people, you know, you come through the village the next morning at the car show, you wouldn't know the car show was there.
That's 100% true. Everything's cleaned up.
Yep, it's. You know, same thing with the 4th. Actually, I talked to Richie yesterday, and, you know, we're going to have guys come in Monday morning the 5th and get, you know, and clean the streets after the 4th and
sweeper.
Bring a sweeper in, and actually headed out yesterday. New sweeper's nice. So they're busy as hell, too.
You replaced the sweeper?
We bought a new one last year.
Oh, last year.
Yep, we actually had, we were able to purchase it through, not CRZ money, but we were able to fund pretty much of it, you know, through non-taxpayer money. Through I forgot what it was, but you know, we had something. I can't remember what it was, but it, you know, we had, you know, I think it was like $75,000 of it we got to fund through non-taxpayer money. Yeah, which was good. It was a perfect storm to get it. You know, I think it was $125K for the sweeper. They're expensive.
Now that was new you bought?
Brand new. Well, the one was 20 plus years old. We're putting $3,000 or $4,000 in it a year easily.
At that point, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it was just, and this new one's automated. Like it's only one system as opposed to two separate systems. Like,
well, we had that. We had two separate motors, two mechanical systems, two transmissions.
This is all one system.
All one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes all the sense in the world.
It was, especially in a village. Street sweep is important. That's one people like seeing out. They like seeing their streets swept, and you know, so it's important that we can always continue to provide that service in the village. You know, and usually Tuesday mornings are route. They're out every Tuesday morning. They come in at 6 and hit the business district. Yeah, everybody thinks their street should be first.
Of course.
My street's always last, but that's okay. I'm a cul-de-sac, so I usually got to remind them, say, hey, don't forget about my street. You know? But they work hard. They get a lot done, and they've been doing a lot of sidewalk work, a lot of tree removal work, and they've been busy. They work the summer shift now. They come in at 6 and work till 2. And
better beat the heat a little bit.
Beat the heat, though. We got in trouble last week when they were cutting down a tree on Elm Street, and they started at 6:30 in the morning.
The chainsaw.
And
the chipper.
And the poor gentleman who went on Facebook, who really didn't complain about it, he's somebody I know, and I won't mention his name, but he kind of put something out there saying, hey, isn't the village ordinance 7 o'clock? And he got ripped on Facebook by people, like saying, well, you should be glad your taxpayer money's going to work. And he's like, and I even called him that night. He was so happy I'd call. I said, listen, I get what your point, and your point was right. You know, our law is 7 o'clock. If you were out at 7 o'clock with a chainsaw, someone could have complained about you. I said, he's like, Murph, I didn't mean to start it. I said, listen, that's why you don't do Facebook.
Yeah, right, know? Exactly.
And he was happy I called him, and my guys went over and apologized to him the next day. And, you know, again, I explained to him, my guys started at 6 during the summer and tried to beat the heat. And, you know, they were trying to do the right thing. And, you know, but it happens. It's, you know, but I felt bad. I mean, and people that were arguing about it made good points, but I'm like, you don't need to rip this guy apart. He wasn't being nasty about it. He was just saying, hey, you know, I thought the village ordinance was 7 o'clock. And, yeah, that was a big-ass tree on Elm Street, too.
Yeah, trees can be dangerous.
I saw a lot of trees.
That's an interesting pushback. Usually when we cut a tree down, we get pushback that people are mad that we're cutting it down, even when they're
we get
sick.
that, too. Yeah, we get that, too. I mean, but we have the tree commission, which does a lot. And
they're amazing.
You know, sometimes we argue over a tree that I think should come down. They say shouldn't, but you know, I try to explain to them. Ultimately, it's the village liability. So even if the tree is not maybe dead, but it's causing an issue, sidewalks, blah blah, you know, different things. Like we just redid a bunch of sidewalks on Bennett Avenue because the trees were uprooting them. And you know, it can't just be trees' health is important, but it's also you got to factor in liability.
A lot of these older trees, especially soft, they'll have a good amount of foliage. They look healthy, and the entire insides of them are hollowed out. And we dropped a couple of older trees in the last couple of years. It was just unbelievable. You could almost almost crawl up through the cavity.
Yeah.
It's and obviously those are dangerous.
And no, yeah, like I try to explain to people, like when I take a tree down, and they're like, "Well, you're not the one who gets 3 insurance claims a year when a branch falls out of the tree and lands on a car." But the village is, and that's ultimately your taxpayer money. So it's not just like you said, it's not just a pretty look; it's the liability that comes with it. And but our tree commission does a phenomenal job.
They really do,
you know, and we've replaced a lot of trees.
Yes, because they do a lot of work.
Get Johnny Stafford on.
Yeah.
Rosemary Brackett.
We'll get Johnny and Rosemary on. Yeah,
I know they took a lot of heat when they did the trees over on Main Street, but that's working out beautifully. A little bit of time, and those trees are back where they were.
That was amazing. The stuff that came, we're doing something good here, and they go out and do grants and raise money for this. This is not taxpayer money that's paying for these tree commissions. They do their own funding, and we assist with in-kind services, obviously. But they've been an asset. And I have to say, I got to go back to 10 years ago, 12 years ago. This is Kelly Meyer's thought to do this. I have to say, when she was a board member of the village, she brought the idea of a tree commission to the village, and we all kind of laughed at the time, like, "Oh yeah, tree commission. Let's do."
They're not uncommon.
Let's do a front porch commission and a driveway commission too. It's like, but it worked out. It was it was phenomenal. She had a lot of good foresight there.
There are front porch commissions too.
But I'm just saying, we all kind of laughed.
Yeah,
tree commission.
Well, think about it. The Garlic Festival, we're starting the preparations for that, and if one of us suggested, "Hey, let's start a garlic festival," we'd laugh at each other.
Yeah.
And look what that turned into.
You also, as you cut these trees, you're also replacing
them. And
this year we've been very, very fortunate.
And we donate the wood. If people want the wood, they can come take it for the fire. We try to give away the wood. First come, first serve. We have a pile up on North Street. Help yourself. Damien Ferraro's been one that's come a lot of times, and Murph, I'll take all the wood you can give me. That's fine. You're taxpayers. These are your trees. If you want the wood when we cut them down, just ask. That's all. No big. We'll deliver it to your house. There's a guy a couple years ago. We delivered him 2 truckloads of wood after we cut a tree down. Because he's right around the corner, and I'm like, just drop it.
Yeah.
Drop it off in his yard. He said, just drop it off. I'll take care of it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Why not?
Perfect.
We are at the bottom of the hour exactly. Good timing, and we'll be back with Bob Circusano in a few.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Swimming pools are great for family fun, and Central Hudson wants you to play it safe. Never operate an electric appliance next to or in the pool. Be sure pool motors and filters are grounded. Have them installed by a professional and serviced by a licensed professional electrician. Be very careful if there are electric lines above or near a pool, especially if using long-handled cleaning tools. And if a storm is nearby, get out of the water. Your safety matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas for Habitat for Humanity Restore. Habitat Restores are nonprofit home improvement stores and donation centers that sell new and gently used furniture, building materials, and appliances to the public at a fraction of the retail cost. The Ulster County Restore at 406 Route 28 in needs your donations. Call our hotline at 845-853-7499 to schedule your free pickup. And thanks.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? By shifting to a system that gives more patients access to strong primary care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
Screening exams for breast, lung, or colorectal cancers are necessary to detect and treat disease at its earliest, most curable stage. But you may have some concerns and questions. Answer your questions and ease your fears by visiting radiologyinfo.org. In addition to information on screening and wellness, you'll find more than 200 descriptions of radiologic exams, procedures, and treatments to help you prepare. Get informed and be prepared. Visit radiologyinfo.org. Produced by the Radiological Society of North America and the American College of Radiology.
Hi, this is Jared Mans from the Spring Lake Fire Department, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the First Savings Bank in Ulster County that still remains local to this day. Ulster Savings Bank, a community bank that's invested in local business, invested in community, invested in you. Ulster Savings Bank, your one-stop resource for everything local. Locations throughout the Hudson Valley and online at ulstersavings.com. Member FDIC.
Thank you, Lawrence, and welcome back, listeners who have been with us the first half hour. Those just joining us, 331-9255 is our call-in number. Got Fred Costello, Supervisor of Town of Sorgeties, in the studio, and William Murphy, Mayor of the Village of Sorgeties, and momentarily we are expecting Bob Circasano, and I believe we have Bob Circasano. Good morning, Mr. Sorgeties.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
He's also the good humor man of Sorgeties.
Well, he has about a dozen. No, excuse me.
He's got a lot of
about
titles.
100 titles.
Yeah. Good morning, Bob.
So, how you guys doing?
Doing great. Welcome.
Wow.
You've actually. Do you want to talk about the good humor truck? You've really done a lot of good work with that, especially at the end of the school year. I think you went to every elementary school, didn't you?
Yeah, we sure did. We even did the homeschool kids. That's when you see me, Greg. It was about 15 kids that had their little annual event, their last day of school. So they called me up, and why not? I was over there and got dressed and probably only hand out 15, 20 ice creams. But, they were they loved it. They loved it. And I love doing it. I get more out of it than they do. I really do.
He made my daughter's day Sunday.
Yeah. But let's start up. So I got something going on this Saturday at Reese's Lot. This Saturday from 5 to 8 o'clock. I've been doing this 3 or 4 times a year, and I used to do First Friday, but now I'm doing the Saturday after the First Friday. And the reason why I've chose to do that is because I think that First Friday we always have a lot of traffic in the village. I'm just trying to build traffic for the Saturday night. And it seems like it's working. So we have Roadhouse playing at Reese's Lot this Saturday night from 5 to 8 o'clock. It's free to people to come, bring a lawn chair. And normally when they show up, we have 50 to 100 people that come. So it's kind of nice, and I love doing it. I think it's good for the village. And then car show's right around the corner, July 10th. July 10th, people don't realize it's a big day for Sorgeties. There's a lot of things going on. You got Hope Rocks Rumble, and you got Tour to Hope that he's got that bicycle event, and then right after that there's a band playing on Reese's Lot, I believe from like 12 to 2 or something like that, called Julie and the Cruise Director. So and again, it's all free for people. And then I have my kickoff party. Frank Reese, his Hot Rod Band, and also another band that Steve Thornton plays in will be playing at Reese's Lot on the 10th. They'll be playing from 2:30 to 5. And, there's a little fundraiser they do to support the car show and my foundation. And then, that night, all three of you guys are all invited to my VIP event at Diamond Mills, which I'm happy to say I'm having it down there this year. We're going to have approximately 200 people. I got some entertainment coming. It's going to be real nice. And then we all get up early in the morning and start pounding away at the car show. This year, as you know, it's my 17th year. Imagine that. It would have been 18. We couldn't do it last year, but 17 years of just good weather, a lot of cars, and happy to say that, in my 17 years, we raised we gave away over $400,000 to charity.
Wow.
Amazing.
But it's nice.
Yeah, it's
with
really...
that, we have eight bands this year playing. And I got some good stuff coming too. I got Soul City playing on the main stage. I got Lights Out, which is a Jersey Boys guys that are playing their show. It's a 90-minute show. It starts at the main stage at 2:30 and it goes right to 4 o'clock. I got Cherished Memories. Those are those four people who walk around to different restaurants, go inside, sing on the corners, and they really love it. The best part of it, all these guys, they just love coming. They want to be part of it. Please count me in next year. And right on to Roadhouse, playing it at the Exchange, and Greyhounds, they're playing by Stewart's. And by the way, at Stewart's, we got of course, we're going to be giving away free ice cream. And also, we're going to have a display of electric cars at Stewart's, which is, we've never done that before. Gentleman came to me on the display him. I said, "Yeah, I can." So that should be exciting. And then I'm sure you guys remember Daryl McGill and the Smoothies.
Yep.
Well, he's with Daryl McGill and Sass and Brass. They're going to be playing down by Petition, and that's a 9-piece orchestra. So that's going to be something else. And then Kevin Brady, Test Pilot Charlie, will be playing by Mirabella's. In that cubby hole of Mirabella's, between Mirabella's and Petition. Got motorcycles going down Petition on Petition. The restaurant and bar down there. There'll be motorcycles down there. I got people coming. I think I got 25 rooms booked at the hotels locally. I got people coming from Massachusetts. I got people coming from Connecticut. I got people coming from Pennsylvania, Maryland. It's going to be crazy. Right now, Main Street is full. The Petition Street, of course, that's full. We do have some slots open by the movie house, by the Orpheum Theater, and that will take us right to the diner. Again, there's going to be a band playing in front of Stewart's, where the ice cream is going to become available, which would be free to the public. When people come, they don't pay anything. When the guests who come, the people that bring their cars, their motorcycles, are my people that have a registration fee, and that goes towards to money that we want to go ahead and give away on that Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock at the main stage. We have over 50 trophies we're going to be giving away, so it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be just great, And something else you don't want to miss at 5 o'clock. I know, Greg, you're always there. You see me in action, how we give away the money to charity and the kids. And this year we're going to do the same thing. We have a couple children picked, and families picked, and organizations picked, and we're going to be giving away a lot of money on Sunday at 5 o'clock. And with the help of my daughter Macy and Ray Tucker and all the key people that help put together, and I know that you all three, you guys, all I got to do is call, and I know you're right beside me, and I thank you for that. Greg, you did a heck of a job with the Fallen Responders Memorial, setting that up. That was something that the people who did not go to that, they missed something really special.
Yeah, and you got to also give a lot of credit to the committee that was headed up by Stan Odell. Once again, Bob, just like anything in Sorgeties, it's a team effort, and it's a team effort amongst many. And you could take that and carry it forth to the Jeff Madleone memorial service that took place on Cantine. Last night at the Stallions game, I had 4 different people come up to me and comment, and boy, I'm Sawyer Savings Bank.
Jimmy.
No.
Jen
Denier. She was blown away by it. She said that she had never ever experienced anything like that before. Probably because it was outside. But you take the Jack Rose, you take this here, you take your car show, you stop and think of the team effort that goes into it. And I'm like a broken record because I know all three of you have heard me say this time and time again, but it's how we get things done, plain and simple, and how some other communities struggle with getting these things done. And it's got to work that way. It's the only way that breeds success.
And also, I think that with all the stuff that goes on in our community, that when there is an opportunity for somebody maybe new, they want to get involved. We're kind of like leading the area, leading the county in things, how they're being done, and getting people to make a difference in our community. How we get more volunteers, we get more of this because they all see the value in it. Everybody wants to do something.
Yeah,
I get people
true.
all the time and say, "Hey, what's going on? How can I help? How can I do this?" And I got one gentleman that comes in all the time, and all he does is he hands me money. He says, give it to some family that that could use it, and we do. We do. So, but we have a lot of that. We really do.
Our veterans are a huge part of the community, too. I mean, look at, they were at graduation again. I mean, Kevin Pendergrass and his crew guys, anytime you call them, Kevin's got a group of guys there. They came through for the school on Friday, helping out with the parking for the graduation. I mean, that's a group in the last few years that's really come to become a huge part. They got reorganized, and they're phenomenal in the community.
They've become a tremendous resource and a great group of talented individuals.
Yeah.
We haven't put a task in front of them that they couldn't master really quickly.
Everything from food delivery to
organized for vaccinations.
Organized vaccinations, graduation.
Yep,
they've done it all.
Yep, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah. And they're also doing a breakfast the morning of the car show to raise money for, I believe, some improvements that were done to their buildings. So we will be having breakfast at the American Legion the morning of the car show. We are working with them, trying to get all the people that bring their cars to get them aware of what's, that they could go to the VFW American Legion and have breakfast, and that money is going to go towards their improvements that they've made. And they put I believe they got new heat and air and some electrical work done in security. So that's nice.
Yep, you're right on, Bob.
That is correct. Yep. Yes. And their first one that they did on Father's Day was very successful.
I heard it was, yeah. I had to say, yesterday I was on a phone call for my regular job with a guy in New Jersey, and we were talking, and he's like, "Where are you from?" I said, "Sorgaties." He goes, "Sorgaties, that's the home of that big car show, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It's this weekend or next weekend?" I said, "Next weekend." He goes, "I'll be there." He goes, "It's advertised in Jersey, the car show." He goes, "I hear about it. I've heard about it on the radio down here."
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. That's far stretching,
Yeah. No, it's going to be spectacular because I went to a car show up in Tannersville on Father's Day, and they normally have like 125 cars, and they do a little bit of advertising, nothing like what I do. We're on TV, we're on radio, we're all over the place, and they had over 227 cars, and I'm walking through there handing brochures out for mine, and everybody's telling me all we want to do is get out. We haven't been to a car show in a year and a half.
Yep.
Now we got to club, So that's the bottom line, and I think that it's going to be a lot of people are going to come to the village, and one of the biggest things that I'm always working on. I just want all the restaurants and to have the best day of the year is the car show.
I think they usually do.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, and you have the two outdoor venues, Partition and Stella's, that they're made for that event.
Why don't you throw a plug in about the vaccinations?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Bob made this happen as well. The county's coming up with a portable vaccination bus, and we're going to incentivize people who are not vaccinated. If you go and get vaccinated, you'll be issued a ticket or a voucher to go to one of the local participating restaurants, and you can buy a drink with that voucher. So,
that's good. That goes pharmacy, right on the
on Nico's.
Yeah, Nico's on their side lot right there.
Yep.
Perfect spot
on Market Street.
Oh, that is a perfect spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right across from the main stage, and all stages will be announcing that if you did not receive your shot, you could do it today, and go right over to Nico's, and they'll let me use the lot, and I thank them for that.
And I'm gonna make the calls today, Bob, to confirm the participating restaurants. So I can convey that to you or convey it to whoever.
An email so everybody knows.
Yeah, I'll send that out. I'm just gonna get with Janine today. I think we get about 5 or 6 of them participate.
Good.
Yeah, and if you're on the fence about getting vaccinated, the recent news is more motivation to do so. The Delta variant that came out of India, there was a recorded case in Ulster County.
I bet you we get Sparkles vaccinated with a free drink.
Probably.
Monday night on Nightly News, front page of the Freeman this morning, nearly all COVID deaths among unvaccinated.
Unvaccinated, correct.
And that just doesn't throw
Speaks
more
loudly.
weight and justification for getting vaccinated. I don't know what the hell will.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't know if I know anybody that didn't get their shot yet.
Ulster County.
I do.
I know a couple
I know a few,
too.
and I mean, I'm not, I won't argue with them about it. It's their choice, but I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
But
So you got a lot of sponsors again this year.
Oh, we got a lot of we picked up a couple more, and that's the bottom line right there. If I didn't have those sponsors, I could never be. I spent $80,000 to put the show on, and then some. It's phenomenal. And then I picked up a couple sponsors, and I didn't solicit to them. They just came knocking on my door.
Now that speaks for the event itself. That speaks for you, your team, to have individuals come to you without you even soliciting.
Here's one. Now, let M&T Bank, right? You know where that is, right?
Yes.
The Food Mart right next door.
Oh, across the street.
Yeah, the old gas station, right? He came to me. He came to me and wanted to become a car show sponsor.
Oh, Harry, cool.
Harry came to me. I signed him up. He was well pleased to be part of it. That was really nice.
He's gotten very involved in the community over the last couple of years, and
nice guy.
Great.
Nice guy. Him and Nish.
Nice family.
Yep.
And he does, like he always says, that's his best day of the year, the car show.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and then I had a couple others, and I had 3 or 4 more people that signed up. So it's good, I'm just looking forward to next Sunday, and it's going to be a great day.
No rain, right, Bob?
Pardon me?
No rain in the forecast?
Now, I'm going to make my deposit in 1 or 2 churches. I always say you got to pay somebody for it, so why not? But, we'll figure that
I'll
one
never
out.
forget the year we're hosting. I don't know if it was the Mid-Atlantics or if it was another regional Babe Ruth tournament. We had either the Rebels tournament or the Phillies, one or the other. And a little before 1 o'clock, the skies opened up. And it rained for nearly 25 minutes. And it was monsoon. I mean, it was it rained hard. So shortly after that, I head down towards the village, and I get to Prospect Street, and most of the puddles are gone, but the roadway is damp. I get to Lafayette, and guess what?
No rain.
It's dry. The road is dry. And there was no rain in the village.
It's got to
That
stop
happened a little bit yesterday because we got
all night for
3 minutes of hard rain in Berkeley Heights, and people were coming
Glasgow,
from
I heard.
Kingston and said that there was no rain.
And
at all.
the village, we didn't get rain in the village till about 11 o'clock.
Right. Last night.
We had the thunder and the lightning from 8 o'clock on.
Oh, the lightning display was awesome. It was beautiful.
I was at the track, and I was running on the stairs, and all of a sudden I see the lightning. I'm like, I probably shouldn't be running on metal stairs right now. So I got out of
What
there.
an awesome
It
display.
was. It was pretty cool. But yeah, and I went down 9W today, and it looks like
branches.
a couple trees too. It was like a wind tunnel must have gone down 9W through Berkeley Heights.
There was some cold air coming through really quick.
Yeah. But it never happens on the car show.
So far, don't jinx
Let's
it.
hope, yeah, let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx this here.
Well, Bob will just put up a dome anyways.
That's right.
Okay, guys. I thank you so much for always the support from the village, the town, and also from the SAA. And Greg, what you guys do for our community is tremendous, and I'll support you in any way I can. You know that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to work now and work on the car show a little bit, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you guys between now and then.
Probably a good possibility.
Yeah, I'm sure. Right. But thank you, Bob, and thanks for the leadership you put together on this. I think there's an element of contagiousness. You inspired a lot of your employees for sure and other clubs to kind of mimic that you can do this, that you can raise a lot of money, that you can help your neighbor, and that it's fun. And it's really, a strong testament to the effort that you and Larry put together to make these events happen. And, we're talking about car show today, and pretty quickly we'll be talking about the other events you have coming up for Diaz and to raise money for the school, and then Christmas in the Village. So, over the next 4 or 5 months, we'll have a bunch of welcoming you on the show.
Take it easy now. Yeah. Take it slow. Take it slow. Okay. We need to enjoy the summer.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, thank you. I know you have an 8 o'clock appointment, and appreciate you joining us.
Okay, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Have a great day.
It's true. I mean, he was giving credit for the first responders memorial, but that really coalesced when he made the commitment to help out with the fundraising. And then, they were on their way. And certainly everybody that was involved played a significant role, but without the funding to make that happen, it was just a good idea floating around in space. And once Bob made that commitment, and Brandon Bracco organized those softball tournaments, which was long missed, and that was a pivotal part of the fundraising. And Brandon works for Bob, and if you work for Bob, I think you're going to be inspired to participate at some level. Al Carney, when he was working there,
I think it's one of the higher priority job descriptions.
Yeah, selling cars is secondary.
If you can sell cars, great, but if you can fundraise, I'm hiring you.
Yeah, But Al Hanley brought Lions back. And,
Al, yes, and of all the people, I'll tell you what, we got to give. I never ever thought. I didn't know Brandon that well, Bracco. I've gotten to know him much better over the last 5 years or so. But I'll tell you, the job that he's doing, he's now running the softball league. He's the commissioner of the men's softball league. And you're spot on. I mean, he had help, but he was the instrumental driving force with those softball tournaments. And he has some great ideas in moving forward, and we're fortunate.
And it's great to get new blood involved.
Yes.
I know Brandon for quite a while playing against them, and it's great to see another young person come in like we all did when we were that age and step up and want to get involved, because the same people can't be doing it forever, And Brandon, that one email last week, when he responded to that person, perfect, and unfortunately, I run leagues too. That's the way you got to be. You can't let people walk all over you. You got to stand up and defend, not only to defend what you're doing, but like in this case of softball leagues, Brendan's defending Greg's crew and the town. And listen, we're lucky to have what we have. My God,
that kind of really surprised me, and coming from the individuals that it did, and a couple of them that just went, instead of coming to me and throwing the crap at me, went to to my team.
I knew that night, and I remember being at the field that night, and I even said to myself, someone's gonna bitch about this. I could see it coming, because you just knew, just the mentality of people, and it's like, I don't miss those days.
I remember being in our late 20s, and we sponsored a team that played in the tournament, and we went to a neighboring community, and we were excited, but we always played on our field, so that was the perspective we had, that this is what every field looked like. We got there was a rock in the outfield, and the home plates were opposite, so if you hit the rock, it was an automatic double. I'm like, what the hell? And we're standing in right field, and the other right fielder's about 20 feet away playing right field there. I'm like, holy cow. That was one of the moments that really...
We used to play in Tivoli in Dutchess County League, to travel, while, it was back in the 90s. I mean, we had to line our own field and cut our own grass before the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we played in Orlando Street, and it was the same thing. Yeah. You had to line the field and make sure, somebody went there over the weekend to cut it. Otherwise,
and yesterday was a good example. If somebody was in Glasgow yesterday afternoon, and the way it rained from what base Joe Quirk, and he left his windows wide open. And what he told, when he got there last evening, late yesterday afternoon, how hard that it rained in Glasgow. And it didn't do anything in Sorgeties. Well, that day there, it was just the opposite. That storm formed right over the complex, the village, and just kind of hung out for 15, 20 minutes and dumped 3/4 of an inch of rain, which is...
Even last night, like when my wife and them were all ripping, I was talking with Johnny Smith. It was rain just above Palmville. There was rain to the east of Palmville, but thank God it didn't rain in Palmville last night. And Palmville usually always gets the rainstorms.
And I'll tell you what, it was just north of Palmville.
Yeah, that's what Johnny said, yeah.
Arrow was getting dumped up.
Well, I think a lot of lightning we saw was coming across the river last night. It looked like
it was
on
across
the
the river and then also to the north, because I've got the lightning tracker, and actually on our side of the river, believe it or not, the closest lightning strike, cloud to ground, was 23 miles. And then across the river,
It goes right outside my bedroom window.
Well, yeah, later on, but
Yeah.
I mean during the Stallions game, and then across the river it was 17 miles. So it wasn't in that 15-mile, kind of.
What picks up the lightning strike? Is it Doppler? Because it's pretty accurate where the lightning strikes hit. I just wonder what the technology is that reports where it hit.
Again, I've got this app that I got several years ago, going to national and sitting radar scope. This was developed by a meteorologist at Oklahoma State.
Curious what the technology that can sense where they're hitting in, because it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's pretty
well,
amazing.
even DTN that we have because this one is not certified in New York State for our operating permit for our summer youth recreation program, but that'll give you the number of strikes within 15 miles and the number of strikes within 5 miles.
That was one of the most longest sustaining lightning storms I've seen in a long time, where there was no rain involved.
Well, a lot of it was heat lightning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, even.
But you heard some thunder too. Like, I mean, it went on for like 3 hours.
I know.
Like 8 to 11. It was just, I'm like you said, it was a late show. I'm sitting in my den watching it. And I'm waiting for the rain to come, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go jump in the pool. And finally, 11 o'clock, I said, all right, I'm gonna go in the pool, and then.
Yeah, we weren't going in the pool then.
Yeah.
My poor dog. She's afraid of lightning, and she was freaking
that poor
out.
thing.
Yeah,
I can just see it.
My cat's
that
had a-
translated to Kim not getting any sleep either, because the dog was trying to get comfort from her.
Did you lose power in Glasgow?
It flickered a bunch.
Yeah, we had a power surge in the village right around. I know when it was because I was waiting to see what house they were going to buy on the house hunting, and I'm like, went to a commercial. They're coming back. I'm going to see which house they're going to pick. And it went, and it came back on, but then the box had a reset, and I'm like, I couldn't even see what house
you
they
don't know.
bought.
You got to go online and figure it out.
It was like 10:48. I think we had a surge, and like the power went down and came back, but had to reset everything.
I'm nervous. I'm going to go right to Sue's from here, because when the power flickers like that repeatedly, the computers get angry and the compressors get angry, and hopefully everything's okay.
And this afternoon, I think it's going to be worse than
we experienced yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
We're going to experience like a 20-degree drop in temperature, right? We're going.
Yeah, we're only
down
going to be
into
in the 70s tomorrow. Yeah, and Friday. We are at the top of the hour, so that means it's break time. Listeners, we'll be back in a few, along with Stallions franchise owner Kevin Hinchy.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/Drug Facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Introducing the YMCA. Sure, you know the Y for a swim or a game of hoops, but we're more than that. We're a cause. When you take a jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Practice yoga as a team practices her leadership skills. We give people of all ages, incomes, and backgrounds a chance to learn, grow, and thrive. So while you might think of the Y as the place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. That's the Y. We're so much more. Visit ymca.net/more.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
the fact that no one has to pay. It's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Jim Quigley, supervisor of the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
Rondout Savings Bank has a long history of serving local communities and maintaining a strong tradition of customer service excellence while providing each customer with the personal attention they deserve. Rondout Savings' approach to community banking puts you and the growth of your business in the front of everything they do. They're a different kind of bank and would like to tell you why, so please reach out to one of their expert business bankers for an appointment and let them show you what they can do for you. Rondout Savings Bank, always working for you and the community with branches in Kingston, West Hurley, and Hyde Park. Also online at rondoutbank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Thank you, Lawrence, and welcome back, listeners who have been with us. Those just joining us, 331-9255. We'd love to hear from you this morning. Before we get to our 8 o'clock guest, who's going to be Kevin Hinchy, providing he didn't oversleep, he had a late night. It's time for birthdays. So you gentlemen want to lead us off?
I'm going to wish a happy birthday to Tommy Crookston. Have a blessed day from your family.
And a happy birthday to Carol, Kaylin, love your family, and card-playing friends. Have a marvelous day.
Carol, happy birthday.
And today's winner of the famous cow pie is Carol Kaylin.
Good for her.
Carol, when you get the opportunity, get down to Boyce Dairy Milk House, 62 O'Neill Street, right here in Kingston, New York. Pick up your famous cow pie, which is courtesy of Boyce Dairy Milk House and Kingston Community Radio. And listeners, please continue to send in the birthdays, the anniversaries. Very simple to do. You can email to kcr921@gmail.com. You can postal mail, got to keep George happy, at to Kingston Community Radio, P.O. Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402. Carol Kaylin, again, congratulations. Happy birthday. Enjoy your famous cow pie and have yourself an awesome day. And I got Fred Costello, Supervisor Town of Sorgeties, alongside of me, and Village Mayor Bill Murphy. And we have Mr. Hinchy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning, Kev. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Sound a little groggy there. A little tired?
Yeah, it was a late night last night. You know, it was a fun night. We had a walk-off win last night. Got home a little late. Woke up, went to bed with a smile on my face. Woke up with a smile. So it's a good day.
Yeah, you guys are putting together quite a season. Last night you played Glens Falls, right?
Yeah, we played Glens Falls last night and walked off in the night. It was nice.
That's good baseball.
Down by 4 runs going into the 8th inning, 3 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. And boy, that dugout, that was a one stampede herd going towards that player that got that walk-off hit.
Yeah, that's always great to see.
A lot of enthusiasm. You know, you and I have had this conversation. I've had this conversation with, in fact, Colin is up. I was just chatting with him what night was Sunday night, Sunday evening. That you've had some good teams, but boy, this team here just seems to be really special. They gel together real well, and they certainly don't quit. And last night was a perfect example of the no quit in them.
Yeah, like you said, Greg, man, they don't hold their heads. They're fighters. And we've seen it in multiple games where they just keep on. When they think they're done, they just keep coming back and they keep it interesting. And for all of us, right? We've seen these teams play for 5 years now, and to see them down 2, 3, 4 runs, it's nothing we can't come back and overcome. And they've proved it time and time again. It makes it so much fun. I'm enjoying it big time.
And I think certainly the fans, and we talked in the last half hour of people wanting to get out, people excited about getting out. The crowds that you've been drawn, and even prior to last week on weeknights when there was school the following day, the crowds were the crowds were exceptional.
Yeah, it's we all love it. We're back to some sort of normalcy. It's good to see everybody, unmasked and shaking hands and hugging and doing what we do. It's such a relief. It's so good for everybody. But yeah, no, the crowds have been fantastic. The support is unbelievable. Everybody missed it, and they're coming out in droves, and we have some really good things planned, and for future games from here out. And it's a really unbelievable summer atmosphere. Last night it was so hot, and it was so nice, right? I mean, you and I talk about it. I'd rather be hot than cold any day. The past couple days have been something unique as far as temperature-wise, but great baseball weather. And but yeah, no, I mean, everybody getting together and the crowds that are here and what we're doing and seeing kids playing in the outfield, it's pretty amazing. We forget what we lose, right? But I don't think anybody will forget what happened to us.
Sure. So why don't you kind of talk to us and tell our listeners what you do have planned. You're approaching the halfway mark of your season, so still a full month to go with your season and some of the events, some of the special nights that you've got planned.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have what are we? We're 16-6, so we're 22 games in. We still have another 28 games left in our season. Some of our home games, obviously we have the 4th of July, which is always an incredible time for our community. So that we have a home game against our rival Amsterdam, which should be pretty unique, and also, it will be a battle for first place in our division and in the overall league. So that's going to be a very big game. And then on the 20th,
and we just want to tell our listeners, sorry for interrupting, immediately following the Stallions game, we're going to have quite an awesome fireworks display that's being put on by the Sorgady's Lions, Kiwanis. I know you're involved with it. And
Sawyer also.
I'm sure. Sawyer Motors. So thank you for that, and thank you to the Lions, Kiwanis, Sawyer Motors, because the Sorgady's fireworks is always spectacular. I'm expecting a big crowd, maybe bigger than previously, because Kingston had to pull the plug on their fireworks.
There's a number that got canceled. I think Tivoli pulled theirs too.
Did they?
Yep. So our PD is actually anticipating what you just suggested, a larger than normal crowd, and we've reached out to our partners in the sheriff's office in the state to make sure that we can handle the traffic and that everybody's safe. So
it's too bad with Kingston, because from what Lawrence was telling me off the air prior to 7:00, they never booked with the firework company, where I can remember having a conversation with Al, saying, go ahead and book with them, and then if you can't have it, it's out of your control. Then pull the plug. So fortunately, we have American fireworks, and should be for an awesome display. So go ahead there. I'm sorry, I just wanted to interject that for the 4th of July and make our listeners aware about the fireworks.
No, that's great. I'm looking forward to the 4th of July as everybody else is. I know Bill, Mayor Murphy was talking about a 1:00 start for our parade this year, which is going to be great because our game starts at 7:00. So I don't know if Legion's playing or not, but then we can have some BP and have people just go right from the parade right over to Canton and start seeing what we have going on. So that would be the 4th of July, and then we have something unique this year, July 20th, which is First Responders Game, which was brought to my attention by County Executive Pat Ryan, and he's putting together with his group a First Responders Day along with Chief Joe Sinagra and Everett Erickson from the county. They're putting together a First Responders Day, and we have major sponsors coming out, which are donating money and food, and I know Chief Sinagra has a tractor trailer full of toys in which every child will receive one. So this is going to be something special. It's going to be a very emotional day for those that have helped us get through this, awful year. But it's going to be a really great celebration, and just saying thanks to those in our immediate community that has helped us. So, and then the 29th we will also have a huge fireworks display for the end of our season. And the way these guys are playing right now and the start of our playoffs. And just prior to that, Greg, I believe it's the 24th, in which will be our last night before the New York State Legion tournament, which is the first time it's held at Canton, right? That's the 24th of July, Greg?
Yeah, first time in this part of the state. They've traditionally been out in Buffalo, Syracuse. The closest they've been to the eastern part of the state has been Utica. The organizers, the chair of the New York State American Legion, Bruce Mayfield, is very, very excited about coming. He's from Buffalo, and it should be really some competitive baseball. I know what you've lined up with the Legion folks of having all the players come out, and that's been tremendous. Where you've had the senior class recognition game. Last night you had Kingston Catholic Schools moving up. You had Sorgeties Central Schools moving up. And to see all those kids that have come out for that has truly been pretty cool. Special. Yeah. And likewise with these teams that, I'm not sure if they're going to be in their respective uniforms or not, because obviously they're having a barbecue picnic at the large pavilion first, and then around 6:45 or so we'll parade out through the center field fence and on the Canton. So I mean that's been great. That's something new you've kind of instituted this year, and has gone off in a bang.
Senior class night was great.
It allows them to see and feel the energy that's here right now. We did that. We're up, like you said, with the 6th grade moving up for the Sorgeties Central Schools, with the seniors, with the little leagues. And the energy, the atmosphere that this field holds, and to allow them their special day to feel it and to be part of it is pretty cool. And it's something that we're going to do, year after year, because every year we find something new that takes hold, and this is definitely one of them.
You started to say something about senior.
Well, I was going to say senior night was phenomenal. I mean, the kids just had a blast, but like to Kevin's point, here's a good example of what a good thing that's come out of COVID. We've found different ways to recognize things and celebrate things that we didn't do before. And like Kevin said, making this a permanent thing every year at Stallions games. The parade like we had for the senior class after, that started from COVID, but now everybody wants to make the parade an annual thing. So
absolutely, it's because it was so great.
Right. So I think the downside to COVID, we found some different, unique ways to really celebrate
How many times a year ago did we talk about, or in the past 15 months, the silver linings that will come out of it?
Absolutely, and these are some of them. And to see the Stallions taking hold of it, and I wasn't even aware they did the 6th grade moving up ceremony. That's so cool. I mean, I wish I knew. We're all busy right now. I didn't catch that. I knew the Little League one. I was there, and obviously the senior night I was there, and senior night was cool. Those kids, you could see when they came out through center field, they were just happy to be there, and all the Stallions came up and shook their hands. And then I know, by the way, Andrew, I have to tell you, what was it? The girls were a little offended that only the boys originally could do the soccer thing with the big plastic balls, and then you finally let the girls do it. And my daughter's like, "Dad, I got knocked down and I couldn't get back up." It's like,
yeah, that was great. Yeah. That was great. We actually, coming up with different things. Like in the small pavilion out there, we got popcorn, cotton candy this year, slushy machines. We got a dunking booth, and then I rented those balls just to see how they would be prior to any purchase, and then I purchased them this week. So they're just so much fun, and to see some of these seniors or these adults get into those balls and bang into each other. It's hilarious, really.
It was hilarious.
I think me, Fred, and Greg got to do something.
And that's the other thing too. For our listeners that may be listening in, your families, if you haven't experienced a Stallions game, it's not just a baseball game. It's very fun, family orientated. Kevin mentioned about the Ephros small pavilion, where that's all kids orientated. The dunking booth, and then the interns, the games that they do in between innings, where they come right out onto the field. They've come up with some pretty unique ones this year that are new.
Like I said, I have trouble sitting through a whole game. Not just in any baseball game, but when I go to a game, even if I just go for 2 or 3 innings, I go up there just to see people, especially after this past year. Half the time I'm not even watching a game because there's so many people there. It's a social event.
Absolutely, it is.
As much as the baseball game. And that's what I enjoy about it. And, of course, obviously, I have one of the best concession stands around. Mm-hmm. And I'll go up there and grab dinner, say hi to a few people, and then I go home. But, I love the social atmosphere. That's the best part about it. It's an event that anybody in the village or town
really
can come out to.
Safe night out for... and it's casual. Like you said, you don't need to go for 3 hours.
You got Bob Quirk in the ticket booth. What more do you want?
Can't go wrong with that.
I think he sleeps there.
Kev, one of the things that strikes me as I keep meeting the players, every team has its own identity, and certainly over the past few years, you had some really teams that are cumulative good character. But this particular group,
they are polite.
They're a really nice bunch of young folks.
I had a few of them in O'Donnell last week with Kate, and everybody's like, "Hello, sir. Hello, sir." And they had this.
Really
the kids from Georgia Southern, and they're like so Southern polite. It was like,
and the kids from LSU too, and they're all big.
Yeah,
they're some big young men.
Well, I think as we move along, right? This is year number 5 as far as having players on the field, and when your focus is on putting together a really quality baseball team, these players come here with a mindset to make the majors, and that's their focus. Their focus isn't on going and playing golf or hanging out. It's on the draft and winning baseball games. And if they're not getting drafted, to get better, so when they go back to their schools, that they're ready to do better in the hopes of getting some attention for the following year. So. They're not messing around, and they are polite. We're getting them from different parts of the country. The Georgia Southern boys, the same with my in-laws, and they're really special. We have 4 guys from Georgia Southern this year. They just have a different way. They're
they do.
They're helpful, and they're extremely polite, and they're good to be around.
Yeah, you could tell. It was just the first night I met him. I mean, it was just like it's so refreshing to see young men be that polite. And in this day and age, all we ever read about are the kids who aren't so nice or the people who aren't so nice. And these kids were, so gracious that I let them into Donaldson for a night to play basketball. And they were just. I was really just. It's one of those. Yeah, I was. And I went home to Dan and said, "What a nice group of kids they were."
Yeah, as I said, I think this. You have somebody from every part of the country, I think. When we were at the ribbon cutting for Meltway's new location, Two of the young folks were from LSU, and the other two, I think, were from California.
Yeah, we have we reached out pretty far and wide for this special group. We have people from Washington State, Arizona, California, Georgia Southern, Florida, Indiana, Minnesota. So we're a diverse group, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you have to think about all the things that people don't normally think about. It's great for the host families. It's great for the kids, in which the involvement with these really nice young men are there, and that's helpful. And that's the other thing we need to talk about. The host families right now. I thought it was going to be a really difficult issue getting host families after this pandemic. Our community stepped up so quickly and embraced these boys. It was unreal. We have two great host coordinators, Mandy Norcross and Colleen Hampel. They did a killer job. But no, to have these guys involved in this community with these young men, hopefully it resonates and wears off onto them and how to be treated and how to get to the next level.
Like you said, we've been doing this for 5 years, and overwhelmingly, a majority of the folks that open up their home to host one of these young folks for a month and a half or so have had a positive experience. And I think unanimously this year, anybody that did that will share a positive experience when they go home. It's exciting.
I think CB had to put an addition on his house, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to comment, because this was all this was all your monies, no taxpayer monies at all. I never envisioned that stable club after a game, never even thought or crossed my mind, with all the players coming there, you feed them real well, just like a big D1 school, that happens. And it's air conditioned,
very comfortable.
You walk across, the players walk across center field, up a flight of stairs, onto a deck and inside. And I just never ever envisioned. And each time I see it, I marvel over that.
Yeah, it's nice when a plan comes together.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, also, I mean, exactly, Fred. But this is part of the entire plan, right? I mean, we have, and a lot of times in life, and ain't just with this baseball team, you have one shot at doing something and doing it well to leave a lasting impression. So this year we did something different. We hired Jay Masasi. Thank you to Fred for flipping me a name of somebody who's a phenomenal cook. And Jay came aboard, and he does the cooking for the players for home and away, and has really put on some of the most incredible spreads and leaving these kids in awe. Yeah, some of them take it for granted. As Coach said, listen, they don't know what they have. Some really know what they have, but they're going to go back to their respective schools with their Stallions hoodies or backpacks or what have you, and they're all going to talk about their summer experience. And what we provide them, there's nobody else in the country that does what we do. All of us, and this isn't just me, this is all of us together, how we treat our kids, the type of fields that they play on. They don't know what to expect on this 4th of July. Our 4th of July is absolutely incredible. Thanks to Mayor Murphy and you, Bill and Greg, for what you guys do. It's going to be special. They're going to be humming, and we need that type of energy going into that game on the 4th of July night. So, that's the goal. We treat them well. We make sure they have one of the best experiences of their life in the summer, because it is their summer still, right? I mean, we don't want them to come here and have have an experience of, or share their summer. They only have 4 of them when they're at college. So let them have a good time here and then go back and really talk it up. And I think they're going to do that.
Yeah, that was another thing that struck me. Those folks were really enjoying discovering sororities and appreciative of the hospitality that they've received. It was exciting. It was everything you could possibly want it to be.
Something you mentioned a few minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, whatever it was, but their overall aspirations, their goals to get drafted and hopefully make it into the major leagues. Certainly one thing that they are given, and I haven't had the ability to go to a lot of away games. I've gone to a couple, none this past year, but the experience that you give them is as close to a minor league or major league experience that you can possibly give them. I don't know what more you could possibly do, and it's the same way from our end, where with the pregame schedule that we've established amongst you and my team, it's as close to a major league experience as you can possibly get.
Yeah, I mean, we always look around at the end of the season, right? And we brainstorm, you and I, about, well, what is the next step? What can we do to make it stronger next year than it was this year? And, as we've moved along over the past 5 years, it becomes tougher and tougher. and I think that's a good thing. There's things that we can't control, right? We can't control the type of person that's coming here, let alone the talent level, right? We can see what their averages were, how many at-bats or what they're doing at their colleges prior to getting here. We don't know the type of person they are. And when I say that, how much gym time are they going to put in? How are they going to be as far as community involvement and so on and so forth. But this group is awesome. So, I knock on wood, right? They say a new broom sweeps clean. This group is coming in. They've been here for a month. It's not how we start. It's how we finish. I think that they have heart, much more heart and fight than I've seen so far.
Absolutely.
We're gonna keep riding this train. That's for sure.
Well, we're down to our last minute. Anything in closing you'd like to say to our listeners?
I would just say, I have a lot of people that come up to me after the season and asking me, hey, when's your next game? If you haven't had a chance to experience it, we're going into our second half of this. It's going to be over before you know it. So if you're listening to this, you haven't had a chance to experience that, or bring your kids or your wife or your grandmother, bring them to a game, enjoy a good night, and you'll be hooked. It's fun. It's fun. We do it for the right reasons. And, like we said, this is a very special group, and there'll be there's a lot of talent here. So, say you saw them here first.
Kevin Hinchy, thank you for taking time out of your very busy, hectic schedule, which I know you have, for joining us this past half hour. We're getting down towards the end of this half hour. We're going to be back with Darren Nagy, who just recently purchased the semi-pro lacrosse team that's now playing out of the Kiwanis Ice Arena in Saugerties.
Yeah. Wow.
So, Kevin, thank you very, very much. And listeners, we'll be back in a few.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Central Hudson reminds you that summer thunderstorms can strike with strong, gusty winds, knocking down trees and power lines. If you see a downed power line, call 911 immediately to report it. Power lines can carry an electric current strong enough to cause injury or death. Stay at least 30 feet away from a fallen line. Don't try to move it or anything that has come in contact with it. And never drive over a power line. Remember, your safety matters.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Have you ever experienced a wish come true? For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. One song, one dance, one game, one adventure, one moment changes everything. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Visit wish.org now to help grant more life-changing wishes. Together, we can transform lives, one wish at a time.
This is the story of Daniel, who was born 2 months early. His lungs weren't ready. His heart wasn't ready. His parents could only hope that one day he would leave the hospital healthy, and they would all live happily ever after. Daniel's is just one of the more than 500,000 stories of babies born prematurely last year. You can help the March of Dimes stop premature birth and bring more babies home healthy. Learn how at marchofdimes.com. Working together for stronger, healthier babies.
Hi, this is Winnie from the Rosendale Seniors, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
This portion of Kingston Community Radio is brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Visit their newest branch, conveniently located at the Ulster Commons Plaza in Lake Katrine. Experience the difference that local community banking offers with the convenience of another great location, easy access, plenty of parking, and a 24-hour ATM. Ulster Savings Bank, invested in community, invested in you. Member FDIC.
Thank you, Lawrence. And for those that have been with us this morning, welcome back. Those just joining us for this last half hour, welcome. 331-9255 is our call-in number. We are expecting Darren Nagy, who just recently purchased the semi-pro box lacrosse franchise and is playing out of the Kiwanis Ice Arena.
Box lacrosse, would that be like the equivalent of arena football for football? Like it's a different version of lacrosse that's indoors and...
No, it's just, it's like real lacrosse is played in college on a field, like like the ball can go out of bounds. With box lacrosse, it's like hockey. The ball stays in.
Well, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
they just keep going at it.
It's like arena football compared to regular football.
Exactly.
That's what I said. See, that's what I said. If you
you can get checked into the bleachers. Right. It's a very vicious sport.
Yeah, I'm thinking that
it's not like the lacrosse that I played growing up. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's definitely it's arena football version of lacrosse. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Significantly more intense, I would imagine, because lacrosse is intense to begin with. Yeah. But having that action where there's no break when it goes out of bounds is going to be...
I want to go check that out. That'd be pretty cool. They wear pads in that?
Yeah, pads, helmet, elbow pads. The lacrosse ball itself hurts like hell.
Yeah,
I've been beamed in the leg a couple times with them. Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah.
But it's a great sport to play.
Oh, my daughter plays. She loves it, yeah.
I remember buying camera equipment, and I picked up the ball. I looked at my wife, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This thing's going to hurt when it hits you.
Oh, my God, it does, man.
And the girls play without pads, where the wimpy boys get to play with a helmet and shoulder pads, and the girls play with no pads. They play in skirts.
But the girls can't check, though, right? There's not... I mean, guys are like, trying to maul each other on the field.
But they do.
They do.
There's a lot of incident, but the rules are significantly different, Lawrence.
It just shows the guy.
Right, you can't use your helmet to spear, but if you use your shoulder, like football, I mean, obviously you can't, use your helmet as a weapon type thing.
There's a lot of restrictions on how they can use their stick that the boys don't have.
Yeah, you can only hit them when you hold a lacrosse stick. It's like this. You can't where the head of the ball is, you can only hit them in between this area for a check. And the defensive men or the defensive woman, their sticks are really, really long, or at least they were when I played. So they can keep you at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes to show that women are tougher than the boys are. That's all it does. They don't need pads. They don't need helmets.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah.
As a
lacrosse
parent,
is pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, lacrosse is rough, and as a parent,
it is. I mean, it's like,
you support your kid. But I remember going away to tournaments and watching our kids out there, and you're just like, oh my God, please don't get hurt. It was rough.
I mean, as I say, Jill, just get up. I mean,
yeah. You're not kidding.
She got checked, and Jill's not big, and she bounces right back up. But with the Sorgy's girls team this year, what made them as good as they were is that they were just lightning fast. Your two nieces, my daughter. I mean, a lot of the girls on the team were just lightning fast. And then you had some great defenders who just kept, their goalie and their defenders, Maddie Bucci and Kelly Quinn, were just awesome on defense. And, well, actually, Maddie played both. But, I mean,
Bryn's been
Bryn was phenomenal.
Goalie. She's been the goalie for like 5 years. She's been on varsity. It's amazing.
But you saw them beat teams with their speed. Yeah. I mean, they were just so.
And they pass. That's lacrosse. If you can pass, you're doing great.
Unfortunately, Darren got called into work, so he will not be. he will not be calling. He's unable to call in, so we'll look at getting him on. Maybe.
That'll be an exciting thing to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, show over. Let's go.
That's it.
That's a wrap.
But the Syracuse girls won the section champion, and congratulations, what a tremendous achievement. But I feel like that team got cheated a little bit. They could have made a nice run through the sections.
And that's a team, they lost their first game of the season, 13-1 to Goshen. I remember Joe coming home going, Dad, we're going to suck. I'm like, Joe, whatever, it's your senior year, just play it. And they ran the table.
Yeah.
Never lost again after that.
Pretty amazing.
And then came back and beat Goshen, who beat them the first game of the season.
That was a big rivalry, yeah.
7-6. And 8 seconds of overtime. It was just tremendous. And they're the one team to bring home a Section 9 title this year, and probably the least expected to do it.
Probably, yeah. And Goshen's been. I remember when Cam played, that was the team that knocked them off, and that was the year prior they won that section as well. So Goshen's got their heavyweights.
I had my Jill. Jill's first 2 years, not a big scorer. She usually played defense, and I think she had 2 goals in the season going to the last 4 games, and then scored 10 goals in the last 4 games, and had the go-ahead goal against Goshen to start the second half to put them up 3-2. Yeah. And it was like, as a father, that's just a proud moment.
Yeah,
it goes
is.
Goes right back to when I remember Jack in sectionals her senior year. They'd already won section titles twice, and they were going for their 3rd sectional title. In the semifinals, tie game, 8 seconds left, and Jack Barry's a 3-pointer to win the game, like literally 3 feet in front of me, because I'm sitting in the front row. I mean, to have that experience with each of my daughters and in their athletic career, I mean, I'm charmed.
Yeah, gotta be. That's pretty incredible.
To be there and experience both of them. I mean, and especially for Jack that game. I remember, Jack was always a prolific 3-point shooter. And that game, she had probably one of her worst shooting nights she'd had in her career. It was just down on herself, you could tell. And they were tied to a team that should have been beaten by 20. And she stuck with it, hit that shot. And, now my girls are both out of high school. But I'm very blessed that they had the careers they had and everything else they did. And, of course, Jack, when Jill came on the sectional title, Jack was very proud of her. She's proud of her little sister, but she goes, "Don't forget, Jill, I have 2." And I'm like, you do, Jack, and you should have 3, but, it's cool, and I feel very blessed that, my kids had the experience in high school, and I give a lot of credit to Syracuse High School and the coaching program, the principals, the administrators.
You got a lot of opportunities.
I know a lot of parents complain about schools, but my kids both had a phenomenal experience in high school, and I'm so grateful to our school district for what they do.
Yeah, they create a lot of opportunities, part of it's our responsibility to engage the kids in those and take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And not every program is for every kid. There was, remember.
But you're spot on. It's our responsibility as parents to get our kids to that, to put them in, to expose them to those things. I mean, you can't expect, your kids got to want it and do it. And both my daughters just totally embraced high school for everything they could get out of it, academically, athletically, and, And again, I mean, this year new principal and Kirk going his second year. Sorgey's knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. New superintendent with the new principal, Tim Reed, was just
he did a great job.
Tremendous. The kids
this year was certainly not normal or traditional in any way. And,
go ahead. The finish. I'm sorry.
You're going to make the same point. Go ahead.
And at the last minute, things changed from the time
3 times in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to have it come off the way it did, considering, and those changes were a result of restrictions being lifted. Being lifted.
It was ironic, though, because we were part of the meeting to plan the closing ceremonies and graduation, and those plans were great, and they lasted about 3 days. And they never got realized. Great, though. Well, I think what ended up was way better than what we were agreeing was the best we could do at that moment.
And it all changed for the better.
Absolutely.
It all changed for the better.
And what was really cool at the ceremony, too, is that, not Tobin, one of the school board members spoke. They gave a special acknowledgement to Travis Winchell.
Oh, good.
The role he plays in the school district.
Good.
We have the most phenomenal SRO officer that a school district could ask for in Travis. And I've told Chief Snyder this. He's impacted so many kids in the 3 years he's been there, 4 years he's been there. Literally, probably, I think they said there was probably 7 kids this year that graduated, that may not have graduated had it not been for Travis being involved with them, making sure they go to school, get their work done. And these parents know it. I mean, And last night we had the makeshift prom at Rip Van Winkle. Travis was there. Travis was there handing out pizza.
Redefining what the SRO does.
Unbelievable what he does with those kids. And I know he wouldn't want the acknowledgement, but he deserves it.
Yes, he does.
I mean, my daughter who graduated 2 years ago still talks with Travis weekly. I mean, they're friends, they're buddy. You know, he's
built a really good rapport with a lot.
Right. He's not just there to push the kids through. He's there to impact their lives, and he stays in touch with them afterwards. I mean,
A year ago, April, when unfortunately we had to close the skate park down because of the non-compliance to the COVID regulations. Several weeks later, I think it was maybe the middle of May, he was instrumental because apparently one of the skateboarders from Sorgady's went to Travis, and he was instrumental in setting up a meeting with the group of skateboarders and myself, and those individuals, you know, and you know, we've all hit it upon before where so many kids get a bad rap. Mm-hmm. Skateboarders, because prior to the skate park, what they used to do on the ramp at the American Legion, at the post office, et cetera, and there's still a few that don't get it, that'll do it. These individuals, and there was, I think, 8 or 9 of them, you know, all very respectful, explained the whole scenario of what had happened, and none of those kids, none of the Sorgady's kids were responsible. Mm-hmm. It was from youth from out of town, and then that's when we instituted at the basketball court and at the skate park, Sorgady's residents only. And we reopened it, and as a result, you know, and I knew Noah Rubitone prior to, one of the few skateboarders that I knew fairly well. Subsequently, conversations continued, and I asked him about taking over the chairmanship of that skate park committee, and he did. And he has just done a phenomenal job, and the youth and the individuals that kind of comprise his group are absolutely phenomenal. But Travis, he was the main driver in bringing them together, meeting with me, and as a result, the next morning, I said, give us a chance to make the signs up, and it'll be open by 10 a.m.
Well, that's how, like, he's non-discriminatory. Like, he's there for all the kids. It's not just the jocks or the brains or the artsy kid. Like, any kid that needs something, they go to him. He's there for them. I mean, it's just unbelievable the impact he's had. And I mean, I know one personal parent this year that's literally said to me, my son will not have graduated high school once for Travis. Plain and simple.
Well, he also took...
He got some nice recognition last year, and unfortunately, COVID sort of cheated it because the police awards didn't happen. Right. But, you know, he's single-handedly redefining what the SRO position can do in schools, and that, ironically, has come under some scrutiny because of the police reform commissions, and I was appreciative and not surprised by any measure that when the Reform Commission that did Sorgady's was looking at the SRO with scrutiny, the school board just came out, and a number of parents were speaking on his behalf and how much that position has meant to so many of those children.
And previously it didn't, because, I'm not saying the other SR prior to him weren't good SR officers, but they weren't, they didn't get involved as he did. And so now, no one, you know, I don't think we're going to hear that question again anymore. Who should be paying for the SRO officer? Should be the school? Should be the town? Let's just make sure we have him, because, like you said, it's going to be.
I've always believed in the SRO, and the other folks did a good job with it too.
Absolutely.
And there was a period there where there was not any funding from the school, and there was not any federal funding left, and I'm proud that Sorgady's kept that position active,
and finally got the perfect person for it.
Yeah, you know. And now we have a good relationship with the school. They bear.
He goes to every school. I mean, he doesn't miss. He's at the senior picnic. He was, you know, he's at graduation. He was at, you know, like I said, the informal prom last night. You know, he does it all, you know, I remember when the kids were trying to raise money for their senior trip.
he was there, and he put tons of money.
He went on a senior trip.
I know.
He was a chaperone with my wife, and
just so critical.
Yeah.
And I hope you're right, where we don't have that conversation.
Never have to have it
again. And something, the whole bottom line is, and both of you have heard me say this before, I realize each separate entity has its own budget, but the bottom line, at the end of the day, whether it's the village, whether it's the town, whether it's the county, whether it's the state, whether it's the school district, whether it's a special district, it all comes out of the same pocketbook. It all comes out of the same wallet. It's taxpayer dollars. And thankfully, majority of the people see the value. And I'm glad you brought Travis up.
He doesn't get it.
And also during COVID, last year, I believe in May, or maybe it was April, he took 5 or 6 students. He couldn't get into the schools, over to the Greco Center, and spent several hours teaching them.
Yes.
And as a result, they all graduated.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's really impressive.
Yeah, I always had the stability of my mom and dad at the house, and we tried to emulate that for our kids. I know you and Dana did the same thing, Mayor, but not every family has that.
They don't.
And
no.
To the degree that you can have those stable relationships in the school setting and someone like Travis, where it transcends just the teacher in that class, I think for some folks that really meant a lot.
Absolutely. And I know those times I've had kids contact me, and I've reached out to Travis to say, hey, can you look, always just, for whatever issue, and it's fun. It just adds a whole new element to our school, and these kids who may not want to come to school, all of a sudden, hey, school's pretty fun, and Travis figures out a way to make school fun for them, and it's funny, like I'll see him one day, it's like, oh, I'm pissed off at so-and-so, he hasn't been to school in 3 days, I gotta get to his house. That's how involved he is. He's like, he missed 3 days of school, and I don't know why, and I'm gonna go find him. And I don't know how he keeps tabs on all of them, to be honest with you. His phone must be, his list of names in his phone must be like never ending, and
it's pretty neat.
Yeah, we're lucky. And again, that's just another aspect of our community. Our community's got so many good attributes. It's I can't even keep track of them anymore, honestly. Different people, different organizations to have the huge impacts in our community, and
very fortunate.
And it gets so frustrating, when we hear the other side from other people. It's like, don't you just get it? I mean, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. Every community has their problems, but why does your glass always got to be 3/4 empty?
Yeah.
3/4 empty for somebody. Some of them, it's got a hole in the bottom. I mean, come on. Like the lady at the parade. When's it going to be over? Shut up. Jesus.
True, though.
I know that's what we get paid for to deal with. I understand that.
I know, but
I mean, I literally.
There's a cruel irony to that. So the folks that are active and they're always trying to help, they've been through it, so they have that perspective, and they have sympathy for other groups that are trying to do things, and it doesn't always come out the way you want. The folks like that individual are always the one pointing out flaws. Never, and that's the only time we hear from them, because they're never there to help out.
Never. Well, that's a known fact.
And we awarded Carol this morning for the birthday winner for the Milk House. But she's been a huge advocate, along with the Burt family and a number of others, to bring pickleball.
Yep.
And that's something that's, I think we're going to see that really shortly. And
well, it goes back to the skate park. Greg said, years ago when the kids wanted the skate park, what was it? Chris Whitaker? One of Tommy's oldest sons was
yes.
part of it. These kids wanted the skate park, and
Jasper.
And they figured out how to do it. Jasper, yeah. I mean, these kids.
I was a young councilman at the time.
Yeah, and
I'm just looking at this, going, "How are we going to raise all this money?" And they did it.
I mean, again, Kiwanis putting the ice rink, huge. But I mean, here was a group of kids who wanted the skate park.
Yeah,
they were told what they needed to do to get it done, and they were teenagers, and they figured out a way to do it.
They did it, yeah.
That and then you got adults who just want to complain and never want to help out and assist.
Go do something.
I go back, one of my favorite stories, and I'm not going to say any names, but like 3 or 4 years ago, somebody came to my office and they complained about the Christmas lights by the railroad tracks, saying, who hung those lights by the railroad tracks? I said, the Blue Cats. They're terrible. They should be embarrassed. I said, you realize
something for the community.
You realize they're retired older men who volunteer their time to do that for the village. Well, they should take better care. I said, well, then maybe you should get off your ass and volunteer to help them and join the Blue Cats.
Yeah. Every Christmas,
nothing. Yeah.
every Christmas season that I've seen them, I think they've been.
Oh, I know they do, but I don't anyone complain. I'm like, and you can't talk to me that way. Well, yeah, I can, and I just did. If you have an issue how they're decorating, volunteer to help them. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Be part of the solution.
Part of the solution.
If you think there's a problem,
Right.
But you got to remember something. There's always that percentage.
I know.
There's always that.
That infuriated me. I mean, it's a simple thing, but my God, these men come out every year, take care of that property, decorate it, and you're complaining about how they hung the lights on the trees? It was sloppily done?
There are people that wake up every morning and they thrive on complaining, having issues, having problems, gloom and doom. They're not happy.
I'm going to write a book when I'm done being mayor. There's no doubt. It's going to be the most sarcastic book ever written. I'll probably go on CNN with it, for God's sakes.
They're an interesting group, Blue Cats.
They are.
Really diverse membership.
And I don't really know in person, but like years ago, one of them contacted me. I think it was Bruce Fellows, right? Or Barry Fellows? Bruce Fellows.
Yeah.
Hey, Murph, how can I get involved in SA Biddy League? Yeah, sponsor. All right. And out of the blue, they started sponsoring Biddy League, and I'm not, Doug Myers used to be part of them too, I think, right? Wasn't Doug Myers a Blue Cat?
Doug was, former Sheriff Van Blarkham was.
Yeah.
They got a good group right now.
Doug Robinson, I meant to say. Doug Robinson, not Doug Myers. Doug Robinson, I meant to say, yeah.
Len Burman.
Yeah.
And every garlic festival, they set up and they sell sausage and peppers.
They do more business for breakfast feeding people than they do during
the sandwiches.
But there's no.
And I have a crew probably of about close to 15, including 3 or 4 from the village DPW, because they assist with cleanup. And when they get done, they all go over to the Blue Cats. And they never take any money.
And there's another group. I mean, we always talk about Lions and Kiwanis. Blue Cats is really a group that flies under the radar.
They do. They do.
I remember I learned of them maybe 8-10 years ago when they started helping out with the Mum Festival at Siemens Park. They got involved in that. And I'm like, who are the Blue Cats? I never heard of that one, Maybe it was 15 years ago. And they're one of those groups that just fly under the radar. They want to be involved in the community, help out. They don't get enough credit for what they do. Because everybody, obviously Lions and Kiwanis, are national.
I think Blue Cats likes it that way.
Yeah, that's great.
Quietly make cash contributions to
But they deserve the recognition.
They do.
Yep.
And they're a pretty special group.
I really
got to know them individually and as an organization better and better over the past couple of years. And
is that a national organization, Blue Cats, or is that just local?
Boy, local. I don't think it's a national.
I've never heard. Like Lions and Kiwanis obviously are national organizations, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's great. Or what's the other group that the Tractor Club, right?
Yep.
They're
anybody who's come to the parade knows the Tractor
Club.
Yeah. And it's. I know you kind of snicker.
I snicker because
there's a special part of history that those guys
absolutely
are preserving.
But you have to be at the Sells house when the tractor crew comes through on the 4th of July parade, because between Bill Ball, Andy Barth, and Greg DeSell, when they read out some of the names of these tractors, which now probably wouldn't be politically correct, it's. I don't want to say on the air, but I mean,
it's fun.
It's hysterical, and you have Mr. Oswald and that whole gang and the batches, and Abe, Abe joined the tractor group, and they're another neat group in Sorganies. I might go out and buy a tractor.
But if you go back, Sorganies was a farm community. And those pieces of equipment, some of them are 80 years old.
Oh my God.
And these folks managed to keep them running and preserve them and show them off in the parade and at other venues, and that's...
I remember the first year they're in the parade, everybody's like, Tractor Club. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, literally, they became a viral sensation before there was viral sensations. And now every year, people look forward to them in the parade.
Yeah, because you don't see that stuff.
Try to get them to pop a wheelie, you get a few guys to try to burn rubber.
Simulates that at all is at Dutchess County Fair. They do that old steam engine kind of thing where they have a washing machine that's run by steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have an old truck that's a steam truck, some earth moving equipment, which is all pretty cool. But that Tractor Club kind of parallels what they're doing, and I think it's neat. Mr. Bush has been a big part of that too.
Bush, yep, yeah. It's funny.
It's cool.
Every year I see somebody new on it saying, "Oh, they joined the Tractor Club." I remember the first year I saw Abraham on a tractor. I'm like, Abraham, he runs the diner. How's he know that I run the tractor? You live in Glad. What do you need a tractor for, Abe? But it's something he enjoys doing. He got into the old cars and stuff like that, and
he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, there's somebody else in our community that does so much that people don't realize. The way he takes care of the people in 11 Main, and through COVID, he definitely suffered through COVID. The diner, and we were there, went there Father's Day for breakfast, and packed. Literally had to wait 20 minutes for a table, and it probably took us an hour to get served just because how crowded they were. And I heard other people complain, and I'm looking at Dana saying, I'm so happy.
It's a Sunday morning, relax.
And it's Father's Day. But no, I was just so happy to see him thriving again because he suffered during COVID. And even suffering during COVID, he still took care of the residents at the senior home, and good for him. He's a good guy. He's invested in the community.
Always takes care of the Sorgeties exempts.
Yep.
For their picnic and also for their holiday party.
Just another guy in our community that people don't know what he does and how much he gives back.
We're certainly blessed. It's really fun to have the perspective that we all share and kind of see so many groups do so many good things.
And that's it. Obviously, not everybody sees what we see on a daily basis because we have no choice. We're right in the middle of all of it, and those are the good parts that we get to see all this. Because if I wasn't mayor, I wouldn't know all these things. By far,
no, I wouldn't either.
No, and the general public, and there's no reason that they would know, Right. So, unfortunately, there are so many, and they don't want any publicity. They don't want any credit. But
listen, Bob Circonsado would take. He'd rather be under the radar if he could, but he has no choice anymore.
No, there's no way he can be under. Are you kidding me?
And it was funny when he showed up because he was all day. My daughter's graduation party, so he's like, I'll be there at 4:30. And I happened to be in the pool when he got there because we have a little incident with my pool. And so John Spears and I are in the pool trying to fix something, and he pulls up, so I had to jump out of the pool and go over. I had a towel on, and all the kids pulled in right behind into my backyard, right behind the fence, and it was cool. We had 30 people lined up, the ice cream truck, the kids, and the probably about 12, 15 seniors are there. We got a picture of all of them getting their ice cream.
Cool.
And all he wanted was a Coors Light. Give me a Coors Light, I'll drink it when I'm done. And because he was on his way to see Ian Flanagan after that, his performance in Kingston that night.
Perfect.
But he was so.
We are just about out of time, gentlemen, listeners. Just a few safety reminders with the 4th of July this upcoming weekend. Please leave the fireworks to the professionals. We don't want to hear about someone losing a limb, getting injured, monkeying around with...
Or a finger like Jason Pierre-Paul.
I was going to say, don't be Jason Pierre-Paul, right?
Yeah. Actually, he lost 2 fingers, didn't he?
Yes, I believe he did. So please be safe. Don't drink and drive. And it's going to be a great 4th of July celebration, one that we did not have last year. So take advantage of it. Have fun, but do it in a safe manner so everybody is safe come July the 5th. Listeners, thank you very much for joining in today. You have Bill Murphy, Mayor from Village of Sorgeties, Fred Costello, thank you. Lawrence, thank you. And again, listeners, thank you very much. We'll be back here next Wednesday, and have yourself an awesome 4th of July weekend.